Well, Zach, fantastic to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak
My
with
pleasure.
us.
Lovely to meet you too.
Congratulations on this funny, wonderful, brilliant film.
Thank you.
Maybe for people who aren't familiar with the character of Shazam, you can introduce us a little bit and tell us why you wanted to play this character.
Yes. So the character of Shazam is really a 14-year-old boy named Billy Batson, who's a foster kid who's been in and out of a lot of foster homes on this journey trying to find his biological mother. And then we come to meet him in the beginning of that, and then he quickly, two things happen to him very quickly. One, he gets put into a new foster home with a whole bunch of new foster kids and foster parents, and he's trying to navigate that. And does he stay and does he leave? Can he find family here while still trying to find his mom? Simultaneously, he also gets whisked away to this magical realm by a wizard named Shazam, who is on his kind of dying breaths and says, "I found you at long last. I've chosen you. You're the chosen one," to this kid, 14-year-old kid, because you're pure of heart. And put your hand on the magical staff and say my name and be imbued with these powers. And he does, and then magically he transforms into me, which is the adult-looking superhero-powered version of himself, but is still 14 inside. So it's like the movie Big with Tom Hanks meets the movie Superman.
And what can you tell us about the prep you had to undergo for this?
Oh, the prep
physical and also, I guess, with some of the research in there.
Yeah. So I knew a little bit about the character before we started, but really just that it was the kid with the magic power to become a superhero. And then as I was auditioning for the role, I dove into the interwebs and was looking up all kinds of stuff. And the deeper I dug, the more I fell in love with the character, and felt like how have I slept on this character? How also is this me? Is it because all of my years of resisting growing up finally I feel like have paid off, in that they trusted me to play a 14-year-old inside of a man's body.
And it looks like you had so much fun on set, not least doing this kind of jackass montage of testing out your powers, working with these kid actors.
Yeah.
But then you're pitted against quite terrifying villain in the form of Mark Strong's Dr. Sivana. So what was your experience of, on making this film, and what was some of the highlights on set?
I mean, to me, I've always just loved making people laugh. I love making people laugh. It is good for our hearts. It's good for our soul. It's cathartic. And I think we all need to be able to laugh at ourselves and laugh at things. And it doesn't mean that there aren't some things that are sacred and we ought to not, just drag them through the halls of comedy. But every opportunity that we had to make a moment in that movie real, keep it real, but what would be the funny in that, and finding the funny in that, and with Jack Grazer, who's this big but has so much comedic timing in him as well. That was probably all the stuff that I enjoyed the most. Obviously, seeing myself fly on screen is awesome. The process going into flying is not so awesome because you have these harnesses that are really not comfortable. But I don't know. I think the comedy would say was always the highlight for me.
And it seems to transcend different genres. There's something non-conventional about it in terms of a comic book film. Because, you're not this kind of world-weary superhero burdened by responsibility.
No.
You're kind of really grasping and enjoying it.
Yeah.
But there's also these issues of family and, the kid growing up in the foster home system.
Yeah.
So, what do you think people are going to take away from it?
Well, hopefully they take away all of that and everything, because you can't really boil it all down into just one, this is what the movie's about, because the movie's about wish fulfillment, the kid in all of us getting a magic power to become our super self and do cool things and maybe do good in the world, hopefully, and not abuse it and go do bad things in the world. It's about family. That's the beating heart throughout. Even Dr. Sivana, you were learning about him through his family and what his journey was. And, you come to find out that, he and Billy aren't all that dissimilar, just one's past screwed them up in a way that turned them to the dark side, and the other didn't, because I'm good at heart. And then just really iconic good versus evil. I mean, I love a good, just like good versus evil type of thing, and vanquishing evil. And the fun. I mean, I'd seen an article already written saying, using the word joyous. And I feel like if I had to use one word to kind of be the catch-all, of what you feel with this movie, what you walk away from it feeling. It's joyous. It's like a really good classic, going to the movies, eating popcorn, feeling something, feeling jazzed about it, slapping high fives and laughing, like, into it.
Brilliant. Well, fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing all that with us. Congratulations on the brilliant film.
Thank you.
Thanks
I appreciate that.